Campbell Bower, the talented actor known for his chilling portrayal of Vecna, also known as Henry Creel or One, in the hit Netflix series Stranger Things, has recently shared some candid insights into his experience filming the highly anticipated fifth and final season. One of the most intriguing revelations from Bower is that he felt genuinely terrified about taking on a brand new role within the same universe, playing the enigmatic character known as Mr. Whatsit. In the upcoming season, the spotlight shifts somewhat to the younger members of the Wheeler family, particularly Mike and Nancy's little sister, Holly Wheeler. Holly becomes a central figure as she begins seeing and interacting with this mysterious entity called Mr. Whatsit. Unlike the monstrous and terrifying Vecna, Mr. Whatsit is designed to be a deceptive figure who gains the trust of children through his seemingly kind, gentle, and loving demeanor. This stark contrast is precisely what made the role so daunting for Bower. Speaking in an interview, Bower explained that he didn't initially see any direct connection between Mr. Whatsit and his previous character, Henry/Vecna. "They're not really the same," he noted, emphasizing how this required him to essentially build an entirely new persona from the ground up. It wasn't just a variation on a theme, it felt like starting fresh with a completely different psychological profile. This process of creation was both exciting and intimidating, as it pushed him out of the comfort zone he had established with the more villainous, supernatural aspects of Vecna. What added to the challenge was the nature of the storyline in Season 5. The plot involves Henry's ongoing pursuit of power, which includes targeting Holly and her classmates. In a harrowing development, Henry manages to kidnap 12 of these young children and transport them to the terrifying alternate dimension known as the Upside Down. This meant that Bower, in his dual roles, spent a significant amount of time on set working closely with child actors. Working with children brought its own set of unique pressures. Bower candidly admitted that kids have an uncanny ability to detect insincerity. "Children see through the bull. They know," he said bluntly. "They just know when you're being real with them." This raw honesty from young performers can be incredibly intimidating for an adult actor, especially when trying to embody a character like Mr. Whatsit, who relies on manipulation and false warmth to lure in his victims. The fear of not being authentic enough, or worse being called out on it, made those scenes particularly nerve-wracking. Bower elaborated on how this dynamic forced him to approach the role with heightened vulnerability. He had to ensure that his performance as Mr. Whatsit felt genuinely endearing on the surface, while subtly hinting at the underlying menace tied to Vecna's influence. Achieving that delicate balance required not only technical skill but also emotional openness, especially in interactions with the child cast members who were portraying Holly and her friends. In a separate conversation, Bower shed light on the origins of this new character. It turns out that Mr. Whatsit wasn't part of the original plan when he first joined the series. Toward the end of filming his intense Vecna sequences in Season 4, the show's creators, brothers Matt and Ross Duffer, approached him with an idea. They expressed how much they had enjoyed working with him in the Vecna makeup and prosthetics, but now they wanted to bring him back in a different capacity, more as himself without the heavy supernatural alterations. Bower recalled the moment vividly. The Duffers told him they always intended to have Vecna return, but after seeing his performance, they felt compelled to expand his involvement by featuring him in a more human-like form. Bower's response was enthusiastic and open-ended. He trusted their vision completely and was happy to go along with whatever they envisioned. Interestingly, the full story arc for Mr. Whatsit developed organically in the time between Seasons 4 and 5. It wasn't pitched to Bower in detail beforehand. Instead, it evolved as the writers refined the script. This element of surprise added to the excitement for the actor, as he discovered the character's depths alongside the audience's eventual experience. Delving deeper into what makes Mr. Whatsit so terrifying in a subtle way, it's worth exploring the psychology behind the character. Unlike Vecna's overt horror, complete with grotesque appearance, telekinetic powers and brutal killings, Mr. Whatsit represents a more insidious threat. He preys on innocence by mimicking safety and affection. In a series that has always thrived on blending 1980s nostalgia with supernatural dread, this new antagonist taps into real-world fears about deception and the corruption of childhood purity. Bower's performance is poised to showcase his versatility as an actor. Fans have already seen him transform into the nightmarish Vecna, with hours of prosthetic application and voice modulation to create that iconic villain. Now, stripping away those layers to play a deceptively normal figure requires a different kind of transformation, one that's internal rather than external. The actor has spoken before about the physical and mental toll of playing Vecna, including the isolation of being in full makeup and the intensity of the character's backstory rooted in trauma and rage. Transitioning to Mr. Whatsit offered a chance to explore the flip side, how evil can hide in plain sight wearing a friendly face. This duality also ties into the broader themes of Stranger Things Season 5, which promises to wrap up the epic battle against the Upside Down's forces. With Eleven and the gang facing their biggest challenges yet, the inclusion of a character who targets the youngest and most vulnerable adds emotional stakes. Holly's involvement means the threat hits closer to home for the core group, forcing characters like Mike and Nancy to confront protective instincts on a new level. Bower's fear of the role speaks volumes about his commitment to authenticity. In an industry where performers often play multiple roles across projects, taking on two distinct characters in the same show, and ensuring they feel separate, is a rare challenge. His willingness to embrace that terror likely translates to a more nuanced performance that will captivate viewers. As production on Season 5 continues, anticipation builds for how these elements will play out. Bower's insights provide a tantalizing glimpse into the creative process behind one of television's most beloved series. His journey from terrified newcomer to confident portrayer of Mr. Whatsit underscores the magic of Stranger Things, its ability to surprise both cast and audience alike. Expanding on Bower's career, it's clear why the Duffers wanted more of him. From his early roles in films like Sweeney Todd and The Twilight Saga to his musical pursuits with the band Counterfeit, Bower brings a rockstar intensity and emotional depth to his work. In Stranger Things he's elevated Vecna to iconic status, much like Robert Englund did with Freddy Krueger or Doug Bradley with Pinhead. The decision to humanize him further through Mr. Whatsit not only serves the plot but also enriches the lore. It raises questions about Henry's abilities. Can he project illusions or possess others? Or is Mr. Whatsit a separate manifestation of his will? These mysteries will undoubtedly fuel fan theories until the season drops.